All right. NBA trade deadline is officially over. The Detroit Pistons have made their moves. Now we have the list of moves they've made, one of them being, or the first one they made, and we talked about it on the show, KJ Martin and 2 second-round picks. Awesome. Cool. Following that, that Jimmy Butler deal, which you ended up getting Josh Richardson. You ended up getting Lindy Waters III. And then today, right before the deadline, the buzzer beater, Dennis Schroder is involved in that deal as well. And now Dennis Schroder is a Detroit Piston. So Pistons fans had to sweat it out. They had to sweat it out to try and get another ball handler. Everyone was looking for the same type of players, Lonzo Ball, those type of guys, facilitators, offense initiators, someone to help Cade a little bit while Ivy's out. No one was asking for some big-time splash trade, all right? There's enough self-awareness, I think, from what I've seen with Pistons fans, that you just wanted a move. You're in a playoff push, just a move to help Cade out. He's playing well this year. And they get Dennis Schroder. And I'll say this, Caleb, I like Dennis Schroder. Even though he's kind of been a journeyman in his career, he's bounced around. Take that out of it. As a player, very good passer, can initiate offense, not a terrible defender, and hasn't shot well from 3 this year, but he's not the worst three-point shooter in the world. So on paper, what they got in Dennis Schroder, I like it, and the biggest part to me is he helps you this year, and he's expiring. So he's a free agent after the season. So I would say, although it wasn't this explosive trade deadline, it feels like Pistons fans, not all of them, but some of them see all these stars moving, and they expect the Pistons to be in some conversations like that. It was never going to happen. But I'll say this, Caleb. Overall, I thought Trajan Langdon did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a Zach LaVine, it wasn't a McCollum, it wasn't one of those guys that I saw a lot of people on, around the Pistons Twitter space want. But I think Dennis Schroeder's the perfect guy. Like you said, he's expiring. This is a guy that's going to come off the bench for you and play really well. He's going to help those guys. This is really beneficial to Sasser, Holland, Stu, all those guys coming off the bench to have a facilitator to get him the ball. I mean, and you talk about Schroeder as a scorer. When he was in Brooklyn kind of leading that offense, he averaged 18 points in the beginning of the year and then got moved to Golden State and played alongside Steph. But I really like this move from Trajan. This is the type of move that us, me, you, Boone, Lukas, Gentry, this is the move that we wanted, just a backup point guard, nothing crazy, a guy that could take some pressure off of Cade when he's not on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I like this move. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, anything to help Cade. I mean, the way we talked about this earlier, the way he's playing right now, you can't just sit back and be like, all right, you know what? They're ahead of schedule. Let's just see where they can get to with the roster we currently have. Like, I think you had to make you had to get some help somewhere. You lose an 18-point per game scorer, someone that, again, helps take pressure off of Cade. And media just got a medical update regarding Jaden Ivey, and it's going to be weeks and weeks before you even get another update about when he'll return. So it could be a month, 2 months before you even get any indication when he returns. So you can't sit around and wait. The Pistons are 3-7 over the last 10 games. Like, you just need some help, man. And is Dennis Schroder a world beater? No, but he helps. And that's what matters. And I got to see Marcus Sasser, and I've always been a big Marcus Sasser fan. That can't be your backup guard, man. I mean, no. Dennis Schroder to me is he's a veteran. He's a good backup guard, and he's someone that has played a lot of basketball, and someone that, again, what we are asking for out of a player to be traded to the Pistons, he brings a lot of that. So I like it. It's going to be a busy offseason for the Pistons because, I mean, this team is way ahead of schedule. I guess most people, me and you were talking about 35 wins. But we were kind of the minority. There wasn't too many people yelling out 35 wins. So, but I didn't hate people for not saying it because I get it. I completely understand it. But this offseason, Caleb, you got money. I don't know who's the top of the chain in the class this year for the free agent class, but it's going to be a nice offseason. I'm starting to become more and more of a bigger fan of Trajan Langdon. I will say that. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, I trust him more than our previous GM and Troy Weaver. I think that's pretty easy to say. But when it comes to this deadline, and if you would have brought in a guy like LaVine or a guy like Brandon Ingram or a guy like CJ McCollum, you're blocking guys like Ivy when he comes back, and Asar, who I want to get, who wants to get more minutes. He's only playing 20, 25 minutes a game, but he's playing well. You're going to block guys like that when you're still trying to evaluate what you have. Because like you said, this Pistons team is ahead of schedule. They weren't supposed to be in this position right now. But, with the All-Star season Cade is having, and, the success Malik Beasley has had, they've had some success. So they were put in this kind of weird spot, and I think Trajan just kind of knocked out one of the needs this team had is a backup point guard. And, that I look at this deadline as a success. And when you talk about the offseason, it's like now you have money to spend. And there's guys like Naz Reid, if he declines his player option, Karis LeVert's going to be a free agent if he doesn't get extended in Atlanta after that trade. So, they can make some moves in the offseason to really improve this team. And they didn't handcuff themselves at this deadline so they can't, make moves in the offseason.
And Trajan still has to display some patience because you want your young players, especially the wings they have, to continue to develop. You don't want to trade for multiple veterans and take away minutes from players you want to develop. But at the same time, you're in a playoff push. So it's a balance of allowing guys to develop and, not allowing guys to, make mistakes, grow, like Asar being back this year. He's looked very good, especially defensively as always. And then Ron Holland starting to take those jumps. Like it's interesting now, like it wasn't an easy decision probably on his part looking at this team right now and being like, okay, they're showing flashes, but you don't want to, like you said, disrupt what they have, that young core, what they're building. So it was a tricky situation, but I think Schroder does exactly. I think he wins. It's a win-win in both categories because he's not going to take minutes away from the guys you want to play, and he helps out in an area you need, which is Ivy not being there. So I thought Trajan handled it very well. But we'll see. What do you guys think of the trade deadline? Comment down below. Let us know. I'll try to read as much comments as I can. So far, me and Caleb agree. I like the deadline, and I was about 5 minutes away from not liking it. And then Dennis Schroder appeared like a unicorn. So I'll take that. I was almost very frustrated if nothing was made. Again, what's a successful season to me? Win a playoff game. I will take that, Caleb, right now. If they lose 4-1, I'm cool. All right.
Yeah, I feel like we already checked one box off with Cade being an all-star, and now it's just get in there, get into the dance, and we'll see what happens. Let's roll the dice here. Yeah, let's not mortgage the future.
Yeah, I don't need no series win or playoff run. I don't need any of that. And I think Dennis Schroeder's fine. We will catch you guys tonight. We'll be live 8 to 10 p.m. And you can check me and Caleb out on X. Links to our socials, which we are tweeting out constantly, is in the description of our channel, which you can go to and check out all the other guys' Twitters. But until tonight, we will catch you all. Jeff Iafrate, Caleb Czarnik. Peace. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.